Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tell Me About Your Damn Book. I'm your host, Stephen Lomer, and my guest this week is an author of metaphysical fiction. And I believe this is the first time we have had an author of metaphysical fiction on Tell Me About Your Damn Book. I'll check the archives, but I'm pretty sure this is a first for us. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Sally Chetwynd. Sally, welcome.
Thank you.
It's so great to have you here.
Oh, I'm pleased I could come.
Another native of not a native of Massachusetts, but a resident of Massachusetts.
Yes.
We have authors coming from the wilds of New Hampshire and so far up in Maine, it's sort of southern Canada, Rhode Island, Connecticut. So it's very nice to have some Massachusetts authors. I was worried there weren't any. I thought it was just me, and then everyone was coming from all the other corners of New England just to be here. But thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. So let's start talking about what brought you to the dance. Where were you before you started writing, and then we'll take it from your writing career.
Before I started writing?
Yes.
My mother's womb.
Okay. Wow, I didn't realize we were going to go that far back. We don't have that much time to go from there to now. So if you could give us the abridged version, that would be great.
Well, I've written ever since I can remember,
Okay.
hold a pencil. And when I was a child, I plagiarized my favorite horse stories mercilessly. And some of those actually still live in the attic.
Okay.
They're going to stay there.
What horse stories do you mean?
Like the Black Stallion.
Oh, those horse stories.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
not your own horses that you were writing stories
I
about.
wanted one.
Of course. Sure.
I wanted lots of them.
Okay, so you were plagiarizing horse stories.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And it literally reams. I mean, hundreds of pages, handwritten stuff in loose leaf notebooks.
Oh, you were one of those.
Yeah, one of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you still one of those?
My quality and originality has considerably improved over the years.
Do you still write? Do you do it freehand?
I do an awful lot when I'm first working stuff through.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's old school.
That's
I
old
like
school,
that.
yeah.
That's good stuff. I'm sorry I interrupted. So your mother's womb, then the horse stories.
And the horse stories.
And where do we go from there?
Well, a lot of writing probably got developed in some of my professions after I got out of college, and because I wrote a lot of stuff in college as well.
Okay.
But, professional reports aren't all that interesting.
Not really.
But I got very much interested in living history right around the time of the American Revolution bicentennial.
Okay.
And so part of my college work was writing stuff about the American Revolution. And so those were kind of interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I was really a horrible student of history when I was in high school.
Huh.
Well, they weren't my worst grades, but they weren't far from it.
Okay. All right.
But then I discovered the reenacting. It's like, whoa, history doesn't have to be dry and dull and dusty. Wow, I can have fun with this. I mean, you get to play dress up, and you march up and down the streets, and you wear out shoes in your lungs playing the fife.
Sure, sure, yeah.
And you meet all kinds of people, and you camp in exotic places like an airplane hangar on an Army air base in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And finally, when we moved back to Massachusetts, having been in Maine for a while and in Virginia for a while, a friend of mine, actually it's my husband's first girlfriend's father.
Okay, wait. Yeah. Your husband's first girlfriend's father. Okay,
yes.
All right, I'm up to speed.
And the first girlfriend and us, we're still phenomenal friends.
Huh.
Yeah, and so her father, who writes, and I had been in a writing group with him before we went to Maine and Virginia. He got in touch with me and he said, I'd really like to, get together with you again and work on writing, because he had books and he knew I was still writing stuff. So we started meeting once a month over cups of hot black tea. He has no use for green tea, and
me neither.
So he said after a little while we were, discussing each other's work and critiquing and going over ideas. This is the sort of stuff that writers do when they're getting together.
Sure.
And he says, I've been researching. He says, I want to get Dakota Flight published. and which was one of his novels. And he says, I've signed up with a self-publishing firm, a 2-for-1 book deal. He says, Dakota Flight will be one of those. He says, yours is going to be the other. Otherwise, you're never going to finish it. And he was right. I mean, I could have finished it, but it would have never seen publication because I was always in between jobs, and that was a whole spell of being laid off, and I just didn't have the money.
Right.
You know, if you're not gonna, if you can't pay the electric bill, you're not going to be buying books.
Right. Very true. Yes. Yes.
So, so that happened, and so I have Paul Vankovich, a World War II veteran,
Okay.
to thank for the fact that Beat of Sand exists.
Shout out to Paul Vankovich. Thank you.
Shout out to Paul.
Otherwise, she wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe I should have had him on. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, he's on the West Coast. And
He's on the West Coast.
Yeah, he's on
Okay.
the West Coast.
He's of no use to us. That's a hell of a commute.
It's a hell of a commute. And he's a very old man.
Okay. All right. Yes.
Yeah.
We'll leave him alone.
Yeah,
then.
he's in like 93 or 94.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then he deserves to get some rest out there.
Yeah. But he's an absolute dear, one of the most amazing people I've ever met, with
Yeah.
a life history that's astonishing. You think mine is astonishing. His is, you know,
Beyond astonishing.
I hold no candle to his. And so then when Beat of Sand was done, that came out in September of 2013, I was going to work on a historical novel based in the Civil War. And no, the characters from the first book, they came to me in a dream one night, about 3-4 months after publication of Beat of Sand. And they said, don't forget about us. Well, if they were that important and that powerful to be that strong after 20-odd years, I figured I better pay attention.
Sure.
So I set to and I did some serious work.
Okay.
And in 4 or 5 years, I found my premise, and I found my ending, and then I had something really focused to drive toward.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Now I'm going to take this opportunity to break because we're tap dancing around Sturgeon's Dance, and I don't want to do the whole giveaway until I do the gimmick of the show.
Ah, okay.
So we will be right back after this break with Sally Chetwynd.
The following preview has been approved for all audiences. Welcome to a world where typos can kill. Where only one team can protect the public from the forces of errorism. That team is Typo Squad. Typo Squad. Coming soon.
Welcome back to Tell Me About Your Damn Book. I'm here with Sally Chetwynd, and as you can see, something has appeared between us. It looks like pages and words. It's got a very cool cover. I'm guessing it's probably a DVD? No, I'm wrong. It's a book because this is not Tell Me About Your Damn DVD. This is Tell Me About Your Damn Book. So I am going to jump right in with the show's gimmick and say, Sally, tell me about your damn book.
Okay. The two main characters, Josie and Rory, they are psychically linked from birth, but they never meet until they're in their early 30s when he comes into her office as a consultant. And then they spend the rest of the book trying to figure out what is going on between us.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it safe to say you were dosing on LSD when you wrote this?
No.
No?
No.
Mushrooms?
No mushrooms.
Any herbals?
No herbals. I don't even get that big into herbal tea. And this was pre-marijuana recreational use legality.
My goodness.
Yeah.
My goodness. What sort of readers do you think would enjoy this? What sort of other genres would be drawn to this, do you think?
I think of the book club types.
Okay.
Because people are always looking for that sort of book to read.
Uh-huh.
It's not what you'd call a cozy. What they call those are the mysteries.
Yes.
That you curl up around at the fire with a cup of hot chocolate on a winter's day or something.
Sure.
It's a strange story. It's not a romance.
Okay. We can eliminate some genres.
Yeah.
So the people who like the romances won't really dig this.
They
necessarily.
could. I mean, it's an interesting story.
Yeah.
But it's not the swashbuckling romance type.
Okay.
Not much swashbuckling takes place.
How about like fantasy, lovers of fantasy? Or
Yeah, they might enjoy it because
Okay.
it does have these elements of paranormal.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if you're familiar, but we have a segment on the show called The Five.
The Five.
Do you know
yes.
The Five?
I saw some stuff about The Five.
You saw some stuff about The Five? Okay. Are you willing to participate in The Five?
We can do The Five.
We can do The Five. All right. Excellent. All right. I'm sorry. Yes. So the five is the same 5 questions we ask every author who comes on the show. So question 1. If they published an author's yearbook today and you were in it, what would you be voted most likely to do?
Probably not go into nonfiction. I mean, everybody's talking about your next novel.
You would be voted that you would not go into nonfiction. Okay, is that a double negative? It sounds like a double negative. Voted least likely to go into nonfiction. Is that fair?
I guess so.
Okay, we can flip it a little bit. Okay. Question 2. Which 4 faces would appear on your author's Mount Rushmore?
It's tough to come up with 4.
Yes, it is.
Neville Shute happens to be one of my favorites.
Okay.
Rudyard Kipling.
Uh-huh.
MMK. I don't know if
right.
you've ever read any of her stuff, but she
No.
wrote powerful historical fiction, but based on actual facts, and a lot of her characters are real people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of stuff to do with different places in the world, but a lot of stuff out of India
Huh.
during the time that the English were prominent there.
Sure.
And
That's an easy way of putting it.
yeah, yeah, we don't need to go into
No, we
that.
don't want to. No, that's fine.
And let's see. Well, I'm particularly fond of Ruth Moore, who is a Maine author.
Oh,
She wrote about 24 novels.
really?
They really reveal the character of the Maine coastal communities that you don't see anymore because of people moving around, the transients that we have now with communities,
Sure.
and the influx of out-of-staters or flatlanders or whatever you want to call it. Folks from away.
Folks from away, sure. Yes, folks from down south.
That's right.
Which is Massachusetts, New Hampshire.
or anywhere.
Or anywhere, really. Yeah.
Let's see, who else is on my Kenneth Roberts. He wrote
That's
one.
that's the 5th face.
That's a 5th face.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's gonna get very crowded.
Yeah, I
in there.
don't know how your Mount Rushmores work. We only have 4.
Yeah.
You've gone over by 1.
Yeah,
So you have
so
to eliminate one
I'm
of
gonna
those.
have to eliminate one of those.
That's all right. We'll give you a bonus one. We'll give you the 4 and then a bonus face. That's fine. Question 3. What's something about you that almost nobody knows?
Once upon a time,
Oh, wow. She's ready for this one. Okay.
I was painfully shy.
Really? That's hard to believe.
It is.
You're so gregarious now. How did you overcome your painful shyness?
I think a lot of it had to do with reenacting.
Oh, yeah?
Because I was out in the public.
Oh,
I was
sure.
dressed in funny clothes. I was performing music.
That's true. Yep.
And I had to do these things if I was going to be part of the group that was doing these things.
I see.
So I think that helped a lot.
Okay.
And then studying the first person stuff, because when you first get involved in reenacting, you don't necessarily have the skills yet or the experience to pretend you're somebody else for any length of time.
Sure.
So you start out small. You come up with, whoever your character is, you come up with a single sentence that you might be able to insert into a conversation that's characteristic of whoever you're portraying.
Ah.
And then, ooh, that worked out pretty well. So then you add another line, and pretty soon you've begun to immerse yourself in the culture of those times, whatever those times may be.
Sure.
Some years ago, we had an event where 4 people were invited to share the table with General Grant and President Lincoln, and the conversation was completely non-anachronistic for 3 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because by the time you've worked with a lot of people, and is in a particular group, and you work off each other, and you know your character, and you know the history, it's all ad lib, but you just roll off each other.
Sure.
And these 4 people that were our guests, they, one of the fellows had strategically located them, not together at the end of the table, but in between all of us.
Aha.
So about half an hour into this long dinner thing, they were asking period questions, as if they were talking to Grant.
Sure.
And to Lincoln.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's magical when it happens. Doesn't always happen, but when it does, it's like, yeah, that was way cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Question 4. What is your favorite curse word, and in what phrase would you be most likely to use it?
Personally, I don't have much use for them.
Really?
The English language is so rich in potential invective. Why diffuse it
Okay.
with stuff that's overused and boring?
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have a sort of unique phrase that you have then crafted for when you stub your toe or when someone pisses you off?
Well, about the worst that comes out is damn.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's boring.
Yeah, that's boring. And it just doesn't come out very often.
So you're not a cursing type.
No.
Okay.
No, never had any particular use. I mean, I've worked in a shipyard, so I've heard it all. So, but I didn't have any use for it, so I
Okay.
didn't adopt it.
All right. You don't want to share any of the shipyard curses that you heard?
Well, you've heard them all.
I guess I have. Yeah. I've been around the block too.
My oldest nephew, when he was, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 8 years old, he tried out some of these words that he had learned on my parents. He was visiting one weekend, and so he and his grandparents are sitting around the dinner table, and my nephew comes out, you know, some foulness or other.
Uh-huh.
And my parents are sitting there, and they ignored him. So he tried it again.
Uh-huh.
Still didn't get any reaction. So when he tried it a 3rd time, my mother turned to my father and said, "What's he talking about? I don't understand a word he's saying. You know, Aunt Sally doesn't talk like that. Uncle Dana, Uncle Ben, Uncle Bill, none of them talk like that. I wonder what he's talking about." And they never said another word. And neither did he. And to this day, he's 49 now. To this day, I've never heard a word like that come out of his mouth.
There you go, people. That's how you diffuse those situations if you've got a cursing child in the house. There you go. That's what you do.
Yep.
That's awesome. And question 5. If the world ended right after this video, what final message would you want to convey to your fans?
Who'd be here to receive it?
Aha! See? She finally figured it out. We've been asking this question. Everybody says, buy my book. Well, the video ends and the world ends, so there's no time to buy the book.
So it was a trick question in a
It's
sense.
kind of a trick question, but I like to see people think around it and think to themselves, well, if the world is ending, I would like to give a message of thanks to all of my fans for all of the support, for buying my books, for being there, and love each other and hold on to one another as Armageddon unfolds. But that very rarely happens. People look past past the question and they leapfrog it, and they're like, well, I want to make sure everybody knows that my book is available on Amazon. Well, there is no Amazon because the world has ended.
And there's no book.
Then there's no book, exactly. So, so well answered. Well answered by you. So once again, the book is The Sturgeon's Dance. It's available on Amazon?
It is indeed.
Is it available anywhere else that we should plug?
It's available out of my basement.
Okay. Should people come to your basement expecting
Well,
to find a copy?
they can send me an email and
Okay.
say, I'd like to buy your book.
Okay, all right, that's
And I can
fair.
send them a signed copy.
Oh.
Because Amazon does not have signed copies.
Amazon does not have signed copies.
No.
That's what I tell everyone who approaches my table at a book fair or a Comic-Con. I say, you could buy this on Amazon, but you cannot get it autographed anywhere but right here. So please spend the extra money on my book. And every once in a while it works.
Gotta keep trying.
Exactly, yes. So grab yourself a copy off of Amazon. Sally, thank you so much for being here. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
It has been.
Absolutely. And we'll see you next time. Cheers.